Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the FitFam podcast. This is Miss Natural Olympia Hilary,
And this is Doug, the formulator.
and we're excited today. We have one of our good friends, mentors, coaches, one of the top holistic doctors in the nation. I think that we use the term OG a lot, playing around.
I think you could use legend, probably.
Probably legend
Yeah,
with them,
yeah.
and just one of those that, you if you get the chance to get in a room with some of the people that were with the original creators of different things, whether it's in nutrition, whether it's in fitness, whether it's health, no matter what it is, you wanna be able to get in those rooms, and this is one of those that was there in the beginning and has had an extremely, I would say strong, but actually world renowned clinic for years, and now is spending trying to not work, but still working full time, and but doing a lot more of sharing his knowledge with others, other health professionals, and others to carry on the work. And we're talking about Dr. Brimhall, Dr. John Brimhall. Welcome.
Hello, thank you.
So I know that most of the health professionals that will be watching this podcast know you and you know of your work or work with you that you've taught, but there's probably quite a few in the public that'll be watching the podcast that might not know of your history a little bit. Would you mind kind of explaining kind of what you've done for decades and how you got interested in holistic health?
Yeah, that introduction made me seem like I was old or something, but I remember when 40 was old. Now that I'm 77, I'm not sure what old age is, but I haven't got it yet. And so I have tried to semi-retire, but my patients won't let me, which is a good thing. And working with you and Dr. Harris, we don't have time to retire anyway. I doubt if you guys are ever going
I
to get to
like
do
that.
that either. You'll just keep working and working. Well, my story is kind of like yours. I was crippled at one time and they were carrying me from room to room and I couldn't walk from an injury I had. It was actually injury 2 years earlier in a car wreck, and I didn't think I was hurt that much. MDs, plus muscle relaxants, pain pills. You'll be all right, sonny boy. And then about 2 years later, I'd been over in the desert out here. I was in the pre-med courses, and I never got back up. So I went in pain from uh, the waist up and then the lack of feeling and sensation in the waist down. So they were carrying me around. And now the medical doctors are saying, well, maybe we'll have to do exploratory surgery. We're going back to the 60s. So that'd be a real scary word in this day and age. But that wasn't too scary back then. We didn't know how many problems there was when they talked about this exploratory stuff. And my cousin is a lot smarter and bigger than I am. He said, you need to go see a chiropractor. I said, well, I asked the MD if I should see a chiropractor. He said, no, those guys could break your neck. And he says,
Wow.
well, and I've been going for years and I'm fine, so I think you'll be good. So they carried me in and I walked out, and that changed my life. So you know how chiropractors are, they can't fix everything in one day, so they have to come back from installments till you can train the body to be back healthy. In the nutrition world, we have them take one pill twice a day. In medical world, take this drug for the rest of your life. But in chiropractic, we're working with the nitro body. So he had me come back. And the second visit, he said, you know, you're going to be a chiropractor. I said, no, I'm actually studying to be a dentist. He said, no, we have a lot of good dentists, but you owe it to humanity and to chiropractic to do for others
Wow.
what was done to you. I thought, wow, I never have thought that strong ever hit me. And so I had really good grades, and I applied to Palmer College. And literally a few months later, I was on the way to Palmer Chiropractic College. And the interesting part about that was I had to get married about that same time, not for the normal reason, but I had gotten this car wreck with my wife to be. And then at this time, we were going to get married. She was going to go out to school with me. I wrecked my car. So we were going to wait a year, but we didn't have a year to wait. I needed to get her car and go to school. So we got married then, which was the best thing that ever happened to me. Claudia and I had an inseparable connection, and it's just day and night. We'd be married 56 years right now had she not passed away. So 57 actually. So he passed away.
Mhm.
Downwinder syndrome, which was the government doing atomic weapon testing right after World War II for 11 years and bathed our communities in nothing but radiation. And her mom lived to be 97, her dad 93, and no cancer in the family. So she was the youngest, the baby of 10, and the two siblings above her, all three died of cancer because they were just young in formation when they was going. So all those experiences has thrown me into night and day study like you. When quit, you just can't quit because when you say you know everything, when you're retarded, is the only time you can say that. Because the more people we see, the more problems we run into, the more we learn we need to know. So that's what puts you into peptides and nutrition and all of us the same thing. And then knowing Dr. Mark Harris, who lectures with us and formulates with us, when I met him like 20 years ago, he was taking my classes, and I would notice he ever asked me a question. I think, wonder what the heck he just said. So one day I learned to say, well, Dr. Mark, what do you think about that? And he'd go on for 45 minutes giving you chapter and verse research. So one day after I said, who are you? You know, I'm on that nature path from Montana. I said, no, no, no. Who else are you? What else degrees you have? Well, I have a medical degree, and well, I have a PhD in quantum biophysics. You know that, Mark, how that goes on.
Yeah.
So this journey has taken me full circle. And when I first got into practice, I just knew about chiropractic, and God bless me. I just got one miracle after another. I started treating quite a few Indians on the reservation, and they responded so well. We get people out of wheelchairs in 2 or 3 visits. It was crazy. Their diabetes would go away. So I really started getting interested in that culture. And then I helped this one lady that had migraines for like 14 years. They had already done a vagotomy. We don't want to cut your vagus nerve, but they did that to try to block the headaches. And they did a hysterectomy, still had migraines. So I adjusted her, and her migraines left. One visit. I thought, oh God, you're playing tricks on me here. That was amazing. Thank you very much. But what's coming after this? So she sent me another patient had migraines. Her spine looked a lot better than other ladies. I said, well, this should be easy. Adjust her. Migraines did not change. Well, I've been taking, I don't know, my shirt shows up here now, but this triangle, I've been taking Dr. Goodhart's work, and he said, there's really 3 things that can cause subluxations chiropractors talk about. Structural problems, car wreck, fall, slip and fall, football. And the other is nutrition, and the other is emotional stressors. Well, I was 24 years old, and a white male. What do I know about emotions? My dad said only women had emotions. No, back then you didn't think about that. So I went to nutrition. I got a no product manual out. I looked at it and said, well, this is the kind of nutrition you could use for migraines. I gave them that nutrition and adjusted them. Their migraines left like in a couple of days. I thought, oh my gosh, I got to check everybody for nutrition. Then they sent me another person, gave them the nutrition, gave them the structural correction, no improvement. Well, Dr. Goodhart taught me another thing. He said, you always ask somebody with a severe problem, what was going on in your life when this happened? So I asked her that question. I said, what was going on in your life when your migraine started? You said they didn't start till you were 15. And she just started sobbing. I thought, oh boy, this is a bad question. I get, or maybe a good question. Okay, I want you to think about what happened at 15 and then hold these acupuncture, emotional acupuncture points, and that releases the emotions away from the incident. It still happens, you'll know about it, but it won't control you and turn your gut inside out. I didn't know that until studying the fiber fueled and diabetes code and studying under Dr. Harris, who never forgets anything since he was 3, that the mesenteric plexus in the gut has 5 times more neurons, more nerves than even the spinal cord. So I thought, oh my gosh. So we balanced out this person by holding here, and her migraines left. And I said, would you mind sharing with me what happened when you were 15? And she had been molested by a family member. So that's what threw me into structure, nutrition, and emotional work. And from that, it grew elsewhere. And then at one time, I lectured 40 times in 1 year because what we had created was other people wanted it. And we've taught doctors, you and I both now, all over the world, pretty much.
Well,
I love that.
thanks for that background in
that.
that. I think it's important for people to kind of understand. And one of the things that we wanted to do today is to talk about this importance of getting together to be able to get in the room with people that either have done what you want to do or have the knowledge to get you there. And we were having a conversation the other night with some business owners and that, and talking about what is the number one most important success principle on the planet. And everyone came up with that one answer is get in the rooms with people that can give you the knowledge to accomplish your goal or have accomplished it. And I thought that was interesting that that was the number one thing that these successful people said is to get in the room. And so I'm actually real excited about that because that's one thing that you have been, focused on for decades is, we talk about pretending to care, but you can't pretend to be there, about being there, that you're there, you lecture. And we have a couple big seminars a year that me and you focus on to make sure that we get as many health professionals, their staff, and this time even the public and the patients too. And one's in January, the big Brimhall homecoming that we have in Tempe, and the other's coming up this September in Las Vegas. We call the Super Seminar, where we not only have top doctors like Dr. Brimhall, Dr. Harris, and Dr. Porter and others there, but we also bring some of the top thought leaders in, some of your favorites like Dr. Ben
Right.
Hardy. And
Yeah, so we're hitting all of the areas like you just discussed. What I love about you, Dr. Brimhall, is so you've been in this profession for 50 plus years. Is that what we're saying?
53.
And your passion for it is so deep that I can feel it through the screen. So I think when you have as much knowledge that you've gotten through 50 plus years of work and study and the passion that goes with it, no wonder you were told that you would change lives.
Right. I think the thing too is, I think Doug is a sore loser and so am I. Not that we're not good sports, but we don't want to see a patient and them not get better. That just doesn't
Yeah,
work. So we
I love
treat
that.
your nutrition. We turned Dr. Harris loose. He speaks 7 languages, but he reads in German, Russian, and English, all the current literature. You only understand every other third word, but you get the idea. The world is changing so fast. You have to have bright minds like we have. And
Yeah,
now that we have getting in the room, we have this mastermind association. I mean, you two are mastermind. Marriage is amazing. Just being around you again is just wonderful. But with Dr. Harris and myself and my son, Dr. Brett, Dr. Porter, Dr. Cook, and all the doctors that work with us, man, we have geniuses just all around us. So it's easy for us to stay on top because they keep pushing us. They ask us questions like, what would be the answer to that if I had an answer? And
for sure.
there's no slowing down, there's no stopping. And they say, when are you going to really retire? I said, I suppose when they put me 9 feet down, probably be 9 instead of just probably crawl out if it's only 6 feet.
So
yeah, well,
I was going to ask, I don't know if you wanted to jump into this or not, but because of the issues that I had a few months back, maybe 6 months back with adrenal dysfunction, is that your main topic for the super seminar?
it's for the public. Yeah.
Yeah, for the
Yeah,
public.
we're going to talk about thyroid. We're going to talk about structural problems. We're going to talk about adrenal. But adrenal's been my passion, and there's a very, 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 very
Yes.
good reason of that. I had a lady that came over from California. We treated her, and she got well from chronic fatigue and fibromyalgia, and so it was just great. And then she calls me up one night at like 10 o'clock at night and says, "My daughter's in the hospital. She shut her liver down by taking too much ibuprofen. They say they're going to have to do a liver transplant. Or we're Seventh-day Adventists. They can't give her blood. So we're going to check her out and bring her to you. But they tell me they're going to put me in jail if I do it." I say, you're not bringing her to me. No, you can't do that. We have to play the game with her from there. And I said, look, I'm going to go pray and meditate on this. Let's talk back in 30 minutes. And I went and asked God, what do we do? And he put a name in my head of a biochemist that literally treated people all over the world on their yachts and in their private islands. And he had treated people who got snake bit, where you have, 8 minutes before they're dead. And he found out if he could jumpstart their adrenals, he could save their life. But the first thing he had to do was jumpstart their adrenals. So we talked them into giving her ACE, which is at the hospital they have. They said, no, it won't have it. That had nothing to do with anything. Well, just do it because we're going to check out. Then you're going to jail. Well, then you can put me in jail because you're not doing it. We got them to try it. And her blood values were over 10,000 SGOT and SGPT, over 10,000. So we don't know how high it really was because the measurement only went to 10,000. When we did that, it dropped down to 7,000 and 5,000. They said, I've never seen anything like it. Okay, well, this other specialist didn't tell me I was a music chiropractor, but I said, they tell them once they do that and it drops down, and then you tell them you need to do magnesium IV. And Dr. Harris, you're the expert on magnesium, but Dr. Harris says air is the most important thing, water is second, and then magnesium. So if they give them a magnesium IV, it would jumpstart the detoxification of the liver, and the values came back down. Then they checked her out and we brought her here. She was on the transplant list for less than 3 months, and we got the liver completely regenerated. So
Wow.
from that time on, I had a complete passion to understand the adrenals. Now, what would the adrenals have to do with you? Well, you're a top performer. You're the best in the world at what you do. So that means you're dedicated, but you never sleep on it. I mean, when you go to sleep, you're still thinking about it, right? And men's shut their brain off at night. We just go to sleep. Women's keep going all night long. So you
Yeah.
were still processing all the things you were going to do and the exercise you're doing and your mean coach, how he's always telling you to work harder, work harder. That causes emotional stress. Pumping iron, doing whatever you do there, that causes physiological stress. When you mix anything together, now we say there's 7 interferences: structural problems, nutritional problems, emotional problems, allergies and sensitivities, toxicities, allergies. All right. So any one of those 7 gives problems. What if you had all 7? You did. Your diet's very strict. Your emotions are high. You're wanting to win this. He's working with you, which man, you guys have just done wonderful together. Your family's all fit too. So FitFam probably stands for Fit Family, I'm supposing. What an exciting thing. So by doing that, you blew it out. We developed
Yeah.
nutrition, and I'm on the 4th level of making a nutritional product for the adrenals, and we call it OptiAdrenal because you want the body to be optimal working with OHS. And it literally jump starts the adrenals, but it isn't only the adrenals. When you get into stress, it's not only the adrenals that go into stress, it's the thymus, it's the stomach, it's the emotions. So we have synergistic products. Like if you're going to work out in a gym, you don't just have barbells, you have a whole bunch of different equipment. So at
I
OHS,
like that analogy.
yeah, we have all kinds of equipment in the nutrition that repairs the adrenals, strengthens the adrenals, calms down the stomach, helps digestion, and that's the way we work there to do that. But here's something that everybody listening out there needs to know. Doug got together with us here a few years ago, and he said if you had one product that everybody needed, every family, I mean, every person every day, and every family too, but every person every day, what would it be? And for me, it's OptiAdrenal. Because who isn't under stress? Just get on the freeway and try to drive down there. Think about paying your taxes. Think about this big seminar Doug's putting on. He probably better take a bunch of OptiAdrenal every day. All these stressors add up on you and wipe you out. So if you give the body all these raw ingredients, and then we not only that, we cheat. We know Dr. Porter, then we use the brain tap, that calms the mind down, right? And then we
Yeah.
have Dr. Cook, so he's an acupuncturist, as I am, and Dr. Brett is. So we can use needles, we can use all other things together. You say, well, man, you're talking so fast, I can't remember all this. Why don't you just come to the seminar? We'll show you. We have all these speakers that each are going to cover these different topics, and then we'll amalgamate them together. In fact, Dr. Brett and
Oh,
I are going to do a workshop where we're going to demonstrate to you. Let's say that your adrenals are under stress. How would that affect you physically? Well, you can check a muscle, and like most of you have had a muscle test or somewhere on there. You just check any muscles. And then if you stress that muscle, like jam it this way or stretch the arm, and that muscle goes weak, it should get stronger because the body through the adrenals secretes substances that makes you stronger. If it gets weaker, it means they have no reserves left. And then your shoulder joint will come out. So working out with you, you're stressing the body at every level. Then you have to do like OptiAdrenal, maybe even 6 times a day doing that heavy workout from there, plus do all the other brain taps, the other things that we'll teach you all at one seminar. Where can you go and learn, from, I don't know how many people there are, 15 or 20, that
yeah.
all have their own expertise, and there's nothing like it.
Yeah, no, you couldn't have said it better. And I'm driving Doug crazy lately because anytime I talk to anybody and they tell me any little thing that they're dealing with, I tell them you need to take off the adrenal. It's like it's my new favorite product for sure.
Every
Yeah.
patient every day.
Yep.
He's adrenal. And if you
Well,
don't
then
want
I
to be a
love what
patient, you better take it every day, unless
yeah.
you can get out while stressed. Years ago now, go back to there's a school teacher that came in. She was having an emotional breakdown and she just couldn't take the kids anymore. And you say, what do the adrenals have to do with emotional breakdown? The adrenals have to regulate the blood sugar. Blood sugar is off. You can get depressed, anxiety, and
Yeah.
so it's everything is tied together. There's 7 different glands and organs that regulate your blood sugar, and the adrenals at the top of that list for me. So she said, "How long do I keep taking it?" I feel so good. I mean, I like teaching again, but how long do I have to take it? I said, "How long are you going to teach?" She said, "Well, another 40 years." I said, "40 years." But then
Well,
she,
I've continued to take it just because I couldn't believe how much better I felt and how quickly it helped. I mean, we're talking within a matter of hours, really, where I was kind of laid up in bed. I felt like wow, I must have hurt my back yesterday, and I don't remember doing anything. And then not even being able to really walk within, I don't know, a few hours, and it was just miraculous to me. So,
And
it's
I
like
love
this. It was
Go
one
ahead.
thing. It's like this biochemist told me. I mean, this lady was dying. Her liver was shutting down. She would have been dead, right? And
Yeah.
by giving enough adrenal, she responded, and the liver could drop 5,000 in the
Yeah.
blood. I mean, that who would ever thought that? I never would have thought that. And
No,
Yeah.
no, it's
Doug's
incredible.
a better biochemist than I am. He might have thought of that, but this guy's experience in saving people from being snake bit let him find that out. Because two kids were bit, and he didn't respond fast enough for the first that was bit, and then he tried the adrenal on the other, and they lived. And this was the king's children. So it's pretty impressive. Sorry, Doug, I didn't mean to interrupt you there.
No, no, that's excellent. I just like where it's going with the concept of, when you hear Dr. Brimhall talk, we always talk about being holistic, and we do different segments on here. Dr. Brimhall, we call it the "What's Up Docs," segment where we bring in different doctors, yourself, Dr. Porter, Dr. Ridgway,
Dr. Harris.
Dr. Harris, and that, and I think it's important for everyone to understand that what Dr. Brimhall's bringing to this conversation today, different than some of the other docs, is the importance of being holistic.
Mhm.
And that's why you want to get in the room. We talk about kind of having these cheat codes because we have Dr. Porter to do brain tap. We have these people like Alex Guerrero and David Meltzer and Ben Hardy to teach people the mindset. Then the nutrition from Dr. Brimhall, myself, Dr. Harris, the exercise part of it that everyone should just be following, the supplement part of it. The big part of the supplements, like you mentioned, it's like having the different weight machines. We're going to use that a lot. And you need to know which machines you need to use. Our job many times with people is, oh, you have this imbalance and that you need to use this machine for the back versus the chest or whatever. Same thing in nutrition is you need to know what to use. And there's quite a few of the talks to where people will get to know what to use. And one of them is the breakout session with Dr. John, that where they're going to teach you how to determine exactly what nutrients, what machines you need. And another one of them will be another way to do it through blood work, another way to do it through understanding the conditions. But the only way to get all of this information is to get in the room. And September 26th through the 29th, the Rio Hotel in Las Vegas,
Yeah.
special room rates,
Yep.
special pricing. Dr. John, me and you both know, we'll go to seminars that we'll spend $2,000 or $3,000 to get in the room to hear different people. And one of the big things that does keep us up at night is we get concerned because we wanted to make this affordable for people. The patients, the public could come in for $150, doctors for $300, and bring their staff. It's really affordable because we want people to get this information, and we know once they get it, their life will be changed.
And I think that's important that they do bring the staff. And as I was lecturing, especially when I was on the road all the time, teaching doctors to evaluate patients and give them the right nutrition and all that stuff, we found that they need to bring their staff because they get back there and they get behind because they have to stop and explain everything. The staff will do that. And like you said, enthusiasm. I have enthusiasm, so does Doug. You can see it all the time because we really love what we do and we don't want to lose. We want to be a winner with that patient. Because it doesn't matter if you can say, well, I helped 10 people with this, you don't help that last one. And the last one's a different problem. We want to help everybody. It's
Yeah.
the same way we put everything together with OHS. Doug is a nutritionist and a weightlifter and a weight trainer, and Mark is just a flat genius. And I'm a nail hammer and nail guy. I put people back together. Dr. Brett intellectually helps us with laser. We have gathered a team now where you can build the whole house. You can repair everything.
Yes.
And with Doug doing what he does, and Dr. Mark and myself and Dr. Brett and Janine, we have so many of us together. We came from different areas, but we have a common goal: help that patient, and now help the
Love it.
doctors, help the families that come in. I mean, Monday I have a family's been gone. I see them once a month. All 6 of them come in at one time,
Oh, I
and
love that.
yeah, and they do that every month. So it's important that we teach
And
people that.
yeah, and then what we'll do, we'll close with this, but one thing that's different with the super seminar and with any seminar that you're at is a lot of the times you'll go to seminars and that speaker gets on the stage and you never see him, right?
Right. Yeah.
This is a different ball game. When Dr. John is speaking, I'm going to be in the audience. Dr. Harris is in the audience. Dr. Cook is in the audience. We're listening to Dr. John and we're available. When Dr. Harris is talking, Dr. John will be in the audience, and we're there to not just lecture, but to learn. And so you're going to be able to rub shoulders with Dr. John, be able to catch him in the hall different times, ask questions. And that is different at the super seminar because it's one big family. It's a lot different than you fly in and you speak and you get the heck out of there type thing. This is what we do. And so we look forward to seeing everyone at the super seminar this year in September. And then for your health professionals, at Brimhall seminar in January. We're just finishing the contracts on that right now. But the key to success, get in the room with those that have accomplished what you want to accomplish or have the knowledge that you need to gather in order for you to reach your goals. And so we're so excited to create that environment. Dr. John, any last words to people?
I haven't got Hilary's autograph. Before she gets too famous, I want her autograph on the right? Come
I
on.
haven't gotten yours, so we'll switch. Go trade.
So you guys,
Awesome. Well, thanks a lot.
it's a pleasure working with you.
Everyone. This is Miss Natural Olympia Hilary.
This is Doug the Formulator.
And thanks for being with us for What's Up, Doc with Dr. John Brimhall. We'll catch you next time.
God bless.